Hello students, hope you are all safe at home and healthy. And how is your Dashara celebrations going on? I hope that you all are enjoying very well. So today, as we have come start with our Pizirans grammar, our textbook we have completed till now. Phrases, clauses and sentences, that was your first chapter. Then the noun case. Then third was your adjectives, fourth articles, and fifth was your pronoun. Today I have uploaded this revision test 1. That means it covers all your 5 chapters. Okay, it covers all your 5 chapters, so you have to go through the questions carefully and do these exercises which I have uploaded as a PDF in your LMS. And today I'll start with the chapter 6, verb.
So let's start. Now the first question arises, what do you mean by verbs? It is the main part of the sentence. So we can say that verbs are the main part of the sentence. It tells two things about the subject of the sentence. First, the action or activity performed by the subject, and second, state of being of the subject. Okay, or we can say situation of the subject. Now let's have a look on verbs with the help of some examples. Let's start with action verbs. Now if you see this image, in this image the boy is reading a book. So what is the boy doing? He is reading a book. So read is an action verb. See another example. The man is running. Now what is the man doing? He is running. So run is an action verb. Now let's have a look on state of being type of verbs, or we can say stative verbs. They show the state of the subject. Okay. For example, this is a boy. This is the image of a boy. So we can say Ram is a boy. Now here is also a verb because it is showing the state of boy. Okay, the state of Ram, that whether he is a girl or a boy. See this image. In this image, the boy feels sad. Now what is he feeling? He is feeling sad. This feels word is showing the state of the boy. So that's why feels is a verb. So a verb may tell us what a person or thing does. For example, the clock strikes, Abhi laughs. Second, a verb may also tell us what a person or a thing has. For example, Abhi has a blue car, or we can say the windows have a wooden frame. Third, a verb may also tell us what a person or thing is. For example, the cat is dead, I feel sorry. Now, there are various types of verbs grouped by function. First, transitive and intransitive verbs. Second, finite or infinite verb. Third, auxiliaries and modals. And fourth, gerunds, infinitives and participles, which are the types of non-finite verbs. So according to your PCRINS grammar book and according to your 7th class syllabus, only transitive and intransitive verbs are explained in your book. Okay, so in this video also we shall read transitive and intransitive verbs in detail, and other 3 topics I shall tell you in brief. Okay, so let's start with transitive and intransitive verbs. Now before starting transitive and intransitive verbs, you should know what is a subject in the sentence, what is the object in a sentence, and what is verb in the sentence. Let's see with the help of an example. The example is Reena is eating pizza. Now in this sentence, Reena is eating the pizza. That means Reena is performing the action. So the doer of action is subject. So Reena is subject. Next is. Is a helping verb and eating is a main verb. So is eating, these both are verbs. One is helping verb and one is main verb. Now what is Reena eating? Reena is eating pizza. So pizza is object. One more thing, for identifying object in the sentence, you can ask yourself a question, that is what or whom. Okay? Now, for identifying transitive and intransitive verbs, we should also know what is direct object and what is indirect object. See, an indirect object denotes the person to whom something is done, or the person who is receiving the direct object is an indirect object. Okay, and a direct object is usually the name of something, or we can say the thing which is given is direct object. For example, his father gave him a watch. What is given? Watch. So the thing which is given is direct object. So a watch is direct object. And to whom it is given? To him. So him is indirect object. Who is the receiver of the watch? Him. So him is indirect object. See another example. He told me a secret. What was told? A secret. So the thing which was told is direct object. So a secret is direct object. And to whom it was told? To me. So me is indirect object. Means who is receiving the secret? Me. So me is indirect object. Clear? So basically the receiver is indirect object and the thing which is given is direct object. Okay. Now let's start with what is transitive verb. Action that have a direct object to receive that action. Okay. Or we can say a transitive verb is a verb that denotes an action which passes over from the doer or subject to an object. Means overall, just understand that if a sentence has an object, then it is a transitive verb. In that, an action passes from doer to an object. See with the help of some examples. Now, see transitive verbs with the help of some examples. The example is the boy kicks the football. Now, what is verb in the sentence? Kicks. Kicks is verb. Okay. Now, ask yourself the question, what is the boy kicking? The boy is kicking the football. So now you are having object in the sentence, that is football, and the action of the subject boy is passing to the object football. So that's why football is object and kicks is which kind of verb? Transitive verb. See some more examples. The doctor cured him. Now the object is him, so cure is intransitive verb. Okay. Rahul kicked the ball. What did Rahul kick? The ball. So the ball is object, so kicked is transitive verb. Sheetal crossed the road. What did Sheetal cross? The road. So the road is object and crossed is transitive verb. Okay. Now, what is intransitive verb? Action that does not have a direct object to receive that action. Okay. Now, the verb which is not having a direct object is intransitive verb. Or we can say an intransitive verb is a verb that denotes an action which does not pass over from the doer or subject to an object. When the action does not pass from doer to object, then it is a intransitive verb. See with the help of some examples. See, snow fell yesterday. Now in this sentence, what is subject? Snow. What is verb? Fell. So ask yourself a question: on whom did the snow fall? You will not get any answer. That means in the sentence there is no object and the action of subject is not passing to any object. So that is why fell is intransitive verb. Okay, see some more examples. The boy laughs loudly. Now here in this sentence there is no object, so that is why laughs is intransitive verb. She is sleeping. No object, so sleeping is intransitive verb. We failed. In this sentence also no object is there, so failed is intransitive verb. Clear? Now let's have a more clear view. Now for differentiating transitive and intransitive verb, what can you do? You can ask the question who or what. Okay, see for example, my dad jumped high. What did he jump? No answer. Who? No answer. So in this jumped is intransitive verb. Okay. See another example. Last year students jumped the gate. Now what did the students jump? They jumped the gate. Now object is the gate. So here in this sentence jumped is transitive verb. Okay. See third example. A sixth grader jumped a grade. Now what did he jump? He jumped a grade. Object is there, a grade. That is why in this sentence also jumped is transitive verb. Understood? So for identifying whether a verb is transitive or intransitive, what can you do? You can ask yourself the question who or what. Now, intransitive verbs used as transitives means there are some cases when intransitive verbs are used as transitive verbs. See the first case, when an intransitive verb is used in a causative sense, it becomes transitive verb. See with the help of example, birds fly. Now in this sentence, fly is an intransitive verb. And if you say the second example, that is the boys fly their kites. Now in this sentence here the verb fly becomes transitive verb. Why? Because it has an object, that is kites. That means the boys cause the kites to fly. There is a cause. So that is why in second sentence fly is transitive verb. Second, some intransitive verbs may become transitive by having a preposition added to them. For example, he will soon run through his fortune. Means here through is a preposition. So now as I have added this word through. So now run through means consume. Okay. So here it will be used as transitive verb. See another example. Please look into the matter carefully. Now into is a preposition, so look into is showing the meaning investigate. So that's why now here this verb is has become transitive verb. Third, intransitive verbs sometimes take after them an object similar in the meaning to the verb. Such an object is called the cognate object. For example, I have fought a good fight. Now fought and fight both are same. Okay, so that's why it is saying that sometimes intransitive verbs take after them an object similar in the meaning to the verb. Okay, a noun used adverbially to modify a verb, an adjective or an adverb denoting time, place, distance, weight, value, etc. is called an adverbial object and is said to be in the accusative case adverbially. For example, he went home. Now in this example, home is a noun and it is used as a adverb. So that's why here it is doing the work of adverbial object. Okay. Now, there is a note regarding transitive and intransitive verbs which you have to keep in your mind. Some verbs like come, go, fall, die, sleep, lie denote actions which cannot be done to anything. They can therefore never be used transitively. Okay. Now let's discuss what are finite and non-finite verbs. Now see finite verbs. Finite verb is a form of a verb that is performed by or refers to a subject and uses one of the 12 forms of tense and changes according to the number or person of the subject. Basically, finite verbs are those verbs which changes according to number or person of the subject. For example, if I say Robert plays hockey. Now in this sentence, Robert is a singular noun. Okay, that is a singular subject. So that's why I have used plays for it. So the verb is plays. Now if I change the subject, means if I change the number of subject, that is children. Now children is plural. So for plural subject we will use only play, not plays. So now as according to subject, the verb is changing. That is why this verb play is finite verb. Understood? That means if the verbs changes according to number and person of the subject, then that is a finite verb. Okay. Now see non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs do not work as verbs in the sentence. Rather they work as nouns, adjectives, adverbs, etc. Okay. They do not do the work of verbs. They do the work of nouns, adjectives or adverbs. Non-finite verbs do not change according to number or person of the subject. Why? Because these verbs do not have any direct relation of the subject. Sometimes they become the subject themselves. See for example, they want to eat something delicious. Now in this sentence, to eat is a non-finite verb. Why? Because it will not change according to subject. Now suppose instead of they, that is a plural subject, if I use a singular subject he, then what will I say? He want to eat something delicious. Now here he wants to eat something delicious in the sentence. To eat is same. So that's why to eat is a non-finite verb which will not change according to number or person of the subject. Clear? So these non-finite verbs are further classified in three types, that is infinitives, gerunds and participles. Okay. Now let's have a look on auxiliary verbs. What are auxiliary verbs? Auxiliary verbs are also called helping verbs. Okay. An auxiliary verb extends the main verb by helping to show time, tense and possibility. The auxiliary verbs are be verbs, have and do. They are used in continuous or progressive and perfect tenses. Linking verbs work as main verbs in the sentence, but auxiliary verbs help main verbs. Okay, so basically auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. For example, they are walking in the park. Now here are is an auxiliary verb and walking is linking verb, that is a main verb. Okay, now let's have a look on helping verbs once again. So now let's have a look on helping verbs, or we can say auxiliary verbs, with some more examples. These verbs help the main verb express action or state of being. Okay, means there is a main verb in the sentence. Those main verbs are supported by helping verbs so that they can express action or state of being. For example, we have eaten. Now in this sentence, we have eaten. Have is helping verb and eaten is main verb. So have is the helping verb and eaten is main verb, and they are used together to express the action. Okay. Now let's have a look on modal verbs. What are modal verbs? A modal verb is a kind of an auxiliary or helping verb that is used to express possibility, ability, permission, expectation, or obligation, etc. Means basically modal verbs are used for showing feelings, okay? For expressing feelings or possibilities or ability, permission, expectation, and obligation. The modal verbs are can, could, must, may, might, ought to, shall, should, will, would, etc. For example, Tom can write poetry very well. Now in this, can is a modal verb. Okay. So basically modal verbs are used for expressing our feelings. So now we have completed our lesson number 6, that is verbs, from our PC Runs grammar book. I hope you understood it.
Now I will send you the exercises. There are 3 exercises in this chapter, word chapter, and those who are not having books, I will send you the PDF also. Go through it twice, listen to the video which I have sent to you, then do the exercises which will help you to understand verb very nicely. Listening to the video and listening to the reading the chapter will not only cover your uh, portion, but you have to also understand it well, go through it by yourself and try to do the exercises by yourself. आप सभी को एक या दो बार इस चैप्टर को, मतलब जो भी चैप्टर मैं पढ़ाती हूँ उसको रीड करना है, 2 बार तो एटलीस्ट आपको मतलब वीडियो को सुनना है, समझना है, फिर जो एक्सरसाइजेस वगैरह देते हैं वो आप खुद से करोगे, देन ओनली यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इट वेरी वेल। नहीं तो क्या है, एक बार सुनेंगे उसका एक्सरसाइजेस कर देंगे, उस जो सुने हैं उसके ध्यान में आप कर सकते हो, लेकिन उसको दिमाग में रखने के लिए आपको इसको रीड करना है, फिर उसको आपको समझना है, 1-2 बार वीडियो को सुनो और एक्सरसाइजेस खुद से करने की कोशिश करो, ठीक है, तभी आप अच्छे से समझ पाओगे। तो ये था अपना वर्ब चैप्टर। तो हमने अपने पीसी रन के पूरे 6 चैप्टर्स कंप्लीट कर लिए हैं। Okay, and I will send you the 7th chapter tenses also. We will learn together. In the meanwhile, we'll start our course book also. Okay, okay, children, enjoy well but study too, since your exams are not yet finished. So do both alternatively. Okay, playing, enjoying, and studying also should be ongoing process. Okay kids, bye, take care.